Hey everybody, this is Brent, the EdTech principal from EdTech.tv. I was wanting to ask a question recently, and that question is, how do students build an online writing portfolio? Now, note that I'm not using the B word, blog, although, I actually really like the word blogging, but we're really kind of talking about something different here. Blogging kind of has this unclear sense to it, right? It can be anything for anything. But really, what we're talking about for a lot of our students is the need to be able to write, to produce, and in these days, they really need to be online because everything's a social experience now. So, the truth is, there are a ton of easy ways to go out and write online. I mean, really, it's endless. And in fact, I could even say that you could very easily build an entire website based all around this idea alone. But today we're going to take a look at one of these platforms, and that platform is Medium. Medium came onto the scene a little while ago, and at first it started off as kind of this secret thing. It's like, well, what is Medium? What does it do? But now we're pretty straightforward with it. It's a really straightforward and easy online platform. So all you have to do is go right onto it, start typing. It connects through either your Twitter or your Facebook account. And we're going to take a look at how we might be able to use it, and then a couple of ideas on actually incorporating it into our classroom or our students' portfolio use. Okay, so we're going to go directly to Medium. It's at medium.com. Now, the first thing that you might notice is something that I have a tendency to lean for is how simple this is. I'm a real big fan of simplicity. And part of the reason that I wanted to get into Medium instead of some of the other platforms is that Medium has a very low barrier to entry. So we have one choice here, which is start writing. And all we have to do is sign in with a Twitter or a Facebook account. That's it. So I'm not going to take you through how to sign in. We've done that quite a few times, so let's just do it. So the first time you log in, Medium is going to make it real simple for you and walk you through what everything means. But just in case you missed it or you happen to skip through it, I'm going to quickly cover everything. As I said, it is really simple. The very first thing clearly here is uploading a picture, and then you have a title, and then a subtitle, and then you write your story. That's all there is to it. So let's do it real quickly. I'm going to upload my picture. I'm going to let you see my beautiful face here. Now, as this is uploading, I'm going to pick the title of the post. So I'm going to call it maybe, EdTech.tv. Now you can see my looming face here. Actually, with it cut off at the top, I look a little scary, I think, but that's okay. And then the subtitle is going to be Teaching Practical Tech for Teachers. If I wanted to, I could mess around a little bit with the tone of the picture, so I can choose it, make it a little bit more of a blue tone or a red tone. If that's important to you, you can change it around. I kind of like that red one, so I'll stick with that. If I want to add a photo credit, I can do that. And then as I scroll down, you can see that it says write your story. So all you have to do is plug in your story right here. Now, for the sake of time, I'm just going to plug in a Laura Ipsum. That's a generic text you'll see across a lot of websites. So here we go. I've got my picture and I've got the text already there. Now let's say that I wanted to kind of decorate this a little bit, and right in the middle I wanted to add a little bit more information. As you see here on the left hand side, there's a little plus mark that shows up between every paragraph. So let's say I'm going to click on that and I'm going to put in an image. It also lets me put an embed code in if I wanted to put in like a YouTube video or a break, but I'm going to do the image. And let's say I'm going to do the EdTech.tv wallpaper here. So the very first thing, you can see that it's clearly a centered wallpaper choice here. Now maybe I want to make it off to the left and kind of wrap the text around it. I can kind of block it off on the side here. That looks kind of nice. All of the choices here are really clean choices. This one here on the right is pretty cool because it actually puts the image into the middle, and you can choose to have some of the paragraph writing over the text so that when people look at the image, it shows up clearly at first. Then as you scroll down, it kind of blurs and the text shows up here. So I can write anything here as well. So pretty great. And then we're set. All I have to do is click on publish. It says, am I sure I want to publish? I say yes. And here it is. It's published and it's live for anybody who wants to go and see this. Now, couple points about this that make this extra cool. Number one, it's connected directly to my Twitter account. So if you've got your students already using Twitter to communicate with you outside a classroom, this is awesome because all it is medium.com/@edtechprincipal, which is my Twitter handle. And you guys can use the same thing so you can follow your students really easily. You can follow right down. You can see exactly when they're writing and everything. Now, check this out. This is probably my favorite part, especially for teachers. The left-hand side, we showed you how to add some of those images if we're editing, right? But now we're not in edit mode. We're in view mode. So imagine that we've switched and we're someone else. You can click on this plus button and you can leave a note. So let's leave some sort of information. Then you click save. And that information is there for the writer to see, and you can start a whole conversation. Now you can choose whether you want that to be private or public. And if you're working together with a bunch of students and you want everyone to learn from each other, keep it public. If you have something that's a little bit more critical, switch it to your student and just make it private just for them. So what a cool way. I mean, really what a great way to communicate with your students. They're publishing. This is out there in the world. And yet at the same time, you're communicating with them directly so they don't have to go find multiple sources and, figure out everything like, he sent me an email and I lost the email. It's all right there in the medium.com website. And so, I just get so excited about cool things like this. Simple and really, really easy to use. So that's basically the straightforwards of it. I'm going to jump right into a couple of the little ways in editing, make sure that you understand the back end of it. But really the idea here is to get your students writing, get them running, hit the ground running, and move forward to get them writing, not spending time on how to make a website or how to, do all these other things that take time and really distract from the writing process. So real quick, I do want to take a look at the back end. If you click on the letter M here, it'll pull out your menu. The first choice is to go home. The second choice is to view your profile, which if you signed up through Twitter, which I do recommend, it'll pull your information from Twitter and it'll show your profile as the same information that showed up on Twitter. Now, checking on the cog here, this is your settings, and this section is pretty useful and something you might want to look at. It'll say your profile address, which in my case is @EdTechPrincipal, which of course is the same as my Twitter setting. That's why I'm kind of recommending that. So if your students and you are working on Twitter outside, it all pulls together through the same thing. You don't have to go find out their different address or anything like that. You can choose a couple of these different options, but again, pretty easy to look through for yourself. You can also create, obviously, a new story. You can make drafts. You can see your statistics, which probably for your students are not particularly important, but you can see, hey, I'm expecting 30 students to look at this. I want 30 views at least on my stories. And then collections we're not going to worry about right now. So that's pretty much it for Medium. Like I said, there's a lot of interesting stuff going on here. And the nice part about it is how simple it is, how the students will have a really low barrier to entry and you can just get them writing right away. Make sure to check out the blog itself at EdTech.tv for a little more information about exactly how you might utilize this and some ideas on bringing it into the classroom, either for some of your writing classes or maybe even for homework assignments. Speaking of which, let's go take a look at the homework. So for your homework, it's always easy. The first choice, of course, is go to medium.com. The second one is create an account with Twitter. This is all really part of the same thing. And the third one is just write a simple story and add some pictures, just to make sure that you know how to do it. Your students are not going to have a hard time getting started with this, and that's really the whole point here. So I'd love it if you would follow me, of course, as always. On Twitter, I am at EdTechPrincipal. On YouTube, I'm also at EdTechPrincipal. And on Facebook, I'm at EdTech.tv. Please make sure to go to the blog itself and check out EdTech.tv so you can see a little bit more of the details of some ideas on usage, and that'll be it for today. I really hope you guys find this useful. If you have a different platform that you prefer, let me know in the comments. I want to hear about it, and if I haven't used it myself, I'd like to check it out. Hope all's going well, and I will see you soon.